You know, there's that specific kind of dread,
Mm-hmm.
the one you get when you have to hire someone. I'm talking about the resume void.
Oh, the
You
void.
post a job, and suddenly your inbox is just, well, it's overwhelmed. You have 300 PDFs.
They all look the same.
They all look the same. They all use the same buzzwords. And you, the hiring manager, you're just sitting there with like a cold cup of coffee staring at the stack.
And, you just know you're probably going to miss the best candidate because you're tired and skimming too fast.
Exactly. It's the universal nightmare of the modern workplace.
It is. It's manual. It's incredibly slow. And maybe most concerning. It's often based on, gut feeling.
Right. Not on actual data.
Not at all. You're
Right.
essentially gambling on a PDF.
Which is why I'm so excited about today's deep dive. We are tearing into a stack of documentation about a platform called DigiHIRE and looking at their white papers, their case studies, their tech specs. They aren't just trying to tweak the hiring process.
No, this is a fundamental overhaul.
It is. It's a fascinating case study. The sources we're looking at today, their corporate hiring docs and their campus placement stuff, it all paints a picture of a massive shift.
They're arguing that we need to move from a resume-heavy model to what they call a skills-first model.
Right. So the mission here. We're going to decode how DigiHire is using AI to fix the three big things that everyone hates about hiring.
Speed, fairness, and scale.
Exactly. We're talking about everything from screening a single engineer to managing these huge campus drives with thousands of students.
And, how they're trying to do that without removing the human element entirely.
Which is always the fear, isn't it?
It is. The robots are coming for the recruiters.
Mm-hmm.
But DigiHire's pitch, based on these documents, it's quite different.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the problem they're solving is one we have all dealt with, the old way.
Mm-hmm. The source material is pretty savage about it.
It is.
They describe the traditional process as just a series of bottlenecks. Bottleneck 1, manual offert. Someone has to read every application.
Bottleneck 2, availability. You have to find time to talk to them.
And bottleneck 3, inconsistency.
That last one is the one that gets me. Inconsistency.
It's the bad Tuesday factor.
Huh, yes.
If I interview you on a Friday afternoon when I'm in a good mood, you might get the job. If I interview you Tuesday morning after I spilled coffee on my shirt,
You're probably not getting the job.
probably not.
I have definitely been rejected because someone was having a bad Tuesday.
We all have. And that is where DigiHire positions itself. They call their platform a
GenAI-powered hiring engine.
That's it.
Which sounds fancy and a little bit like marketing fluff, you know?
Yeah.
So let's look under the hood. What does that actually do?
It really starts with the philosophy. They're trying to move away from what's just written on a piece of paper to skills-first, insight-driven decisions.
So ignoring all the resume padding.
In a sense,
Mm-hmm.
it's about what they call intelligent screening.
Hmm.
In the old world, a human skims a resume for keywords.
Right. Did they go to this school? Do they have Python listed 3 times?
And that just encourages people to stuff their resumes with keywords in white text so the machine picks it up.
It's a game.
It's a game, exactly. DigiHire changes the game by matching candidates against role requirements, not just keywords.
Okay.
The documentation uses a phrase I really liked, finding hidden potential.
Unpack that for me. Hidden potential. How does a machine find that?
Well, think about it. A human recruiter might reject a candidate because they don't have the exact job title. They see customer service rep and they toss it, even though the role is client success manager.
Right, but the skills could be identical.
The skills could be. The AI analyzes the skills required for the role and sees if the candidate's experience, even if it's named differently, actually matches. It's looking for the capability to do the work.
Not just the label.
Not just the label. So it's contextual reading, not just, Control F search.
It's looking for the skills that transfer.
Precisely. And that leads to the second layer, which is structured assessments.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
It is.
This is the part that replaces the "tell me about your greatest weakness" nonsense.
Thankfully, yes. In a standard process, 5 different candidates might get 5 different sets of questions depending on who's interviewing them.
Right. One gets grilled on technicals. The other talks about sports for 20 minutes. You can't compare them.
It's apples and oranges.
Totally.
DigiHire forces an apples-to-apples comparison. They use role-aligned evaluations. If you're hiring a coder, they get a coding environment.
A salesperson gets a scenario.
Exactly. Everyone faces the same challenge.
Yeah.
And the scoring is standardized.
So the AI measures job readiness based on actual performance.
Not on whether the interviewer liked your tie. The documentation explicitly contrasts this with subjective impressions. They want to know if you can do the job, not just talk about it.
Okay, that handles consistency. You remove the bad mood bias.
Right.
But what about the speed aspect? The docs mention this anytime, anywhere interview concept.
This is a massive quality of life feature, honestly, for both sides.
How's it work?
Well, just think about the logistics of setting up a first-round interview. I have to email you, you check your calendar, we go back and forth 3 times.
And then you finally meet on Zoom, and within 5 minutes, you know it's not a fit.
But you have to be polite and talk for another 25 minutes.
That is painfully accurate.
So DigiHIRE cuts that out. The candidate completes the structured assessment on their own time, 2 a.m., 2 p.m., whenever they're at their best.
Oh, it's asynchronous.
Completely.
Yeah.
And the hiring manager doesn't sit there watching a live stream. They get a structured report and the recordings. They can watch highlights, check the score, and decide in 3 minutes.
I can hear the skeptics listening right now, though. They're thinking, great, so I'm just interviewing with a wall. Where's the human connection?
And that is the replacement myth. DigiHIRE addresses this directly in their Our Approach document. They're very clear on this.
What do they say?
That technology should support human decision-making, not replace it.
It's a tool, not a master.
Right. Think of it this way. If a recruiter spends 80% of their week scheduling calls and screening unqualified candidates, they have no energy left for the top 10%.
So the argument is, let the AI handle the grunt work.
The sorting, the scheduling, the basic validation.
So the human can actually spend quality time with the finalists.
Exactly. They call it enabling more meaningful human conversations. You aren't wasting your time asking, do you know Excel? The AI already confirmed that.
You're spending your time asking, how would you handle this crisis? Or what drives you?
You're automating the bureaucracy to save the humanity.
That is the pitch.
And the workflow automation backs that up. The platform handles the shortlisting, feedback collection, all the coordination. It removes that administrative overhead.
I feel like half of a recruiter's life is just sending calendar invites, so that alone is a selling point.
It really is.
But I want to pivot here, because while corporate hiring is messy, there's one area that is just absolute chaos.
Oh, you mean campus hiring?
Campus hiring.
A different beast entirely.
The volume is insane. You have thousands of students graduating at the exact same time.
It's the ultimate stress test. You have high volumes, tight timelines, and typically it's all managed with spreadsheets. Massive crashing spreadsheets.
And the geography. The source material made a big point about reaching Tier 2 and Tier 3 locations.
Yeah, for anyone outside the jargon, that means smaller cities, colleges that aren't the big brand names.
And that's a huge accessibility issue.
It is. If you're a big company, you can only afford to fly your recruitment teams to maybe the top 10 or 20 colleges. If you're a brilliant student somewhere 500 miles away.
You're invisible. You just don't get the interview.
Exactly.
So how does DigiHIRE solve that geography problem?
They built a unified platform. It connects the students, the colleges, and the employers on one system. And the scale. It's staggering. The documents say they've processed over 1 million candidates.
Wait, 1 million?
Over 1 million. And more than 100,000 assessments. This isn't some small pilot program.
It's industrial scale.
It is.
So if I'm an employer, I can post a requirement, and students across the entire country can take the assessment.
Yes. That's what they call pan-India reach. You don't have to fly a team to the college. You just send the digital assessment.
So the best students rise to the top of the data pile, regardless of their zip code.
It democratizes the whole playing field.
But, and I have to be the cynic here, if I'm a student and getting this job depends on this one digital test, and I'm taking it in my dorm room,
You're going to cheat.
I am absolutely going to cheat. I'm going to have my genius roommate sitting next to me.
Or another browser window open. It's a valid concern. And DigiHIRE has a whole suite of features for what they call student authenticity.
Student authenticity. Sounds polite, but I'm guessing it's pretty strict.
It's quite robust. They use identity verification, anti-impersonation checks, geolocation validation.
So if I try to swap seats with my roommate mid-test,
The system flags it. It's basically AI-driven proctoring. It's all about building what they call enterprise-grade trust.
because if the trust fails, the whole platform fails.
Absolutely. If an employer hires 100 students and half of them can't actually do the work, the product is dead.
Right. The trust is the product. Now, speaking of the test itself, they mentioned something called conversational AI for campus hiring. Is this like a chatbot?
It's a bit more sophisticated than that. For video-based assessments, the AI actually conducts the initial screening
Yes, the question.
and asks the questions, records the answers, and then, this is the killer feature, it generates a capability score.
A score. Okay. For what? Technical skills.
Technical and soft skills.
Whoa! Hold on. AI grading code, I get that. It either works or it doesn't. But soft skills, communication, confidence, how does an algorithm score that?
That is the frontier, isn't it? The documentation says they analyze the video, the transcript, the content of the response.
So it's looking for what? Confident keywords?
I think it's more about behavioral markers. Does the candidate speak clearly? Do they answer the actual question? Do they use terminology correctly? It isn't judging their soul.
But it is judging their communication style against a baseline.
Right. And I guess if you're processing 100,000 students, you physically cannot have humans watch all those videos.
No way. You need a filter.
The AI provides the filter. It highlights the students with high communication scores so the human recruiters can prioritize watching those videos. It's a spotlight.
Okay, so let's talk numbers. Businesses don't buy software just to be cool. They buy it to save money.
And the efficiency metrics are pretty aggressive. The source cites a reduction in hiring time of up to 60%.
60%? That's more than half the time back.
Right. Closing a position in 10 days instead of 25. But the cost metric is the one that'll make CFOs sit up. They claim hiring costs are reduced to nearly 10% of traditional human agent costs.
10%, a 90% reduction. That sounds impossible.
Well, think about that human agent cost for campus hiring. Travel, hotels, per diems, pulling 5 senior engineers off their actual jobs to go interview students.
That is incredibly expensive.
Versus sending a link.
The math holds up.
And it also reduces the placement team workload at the colleges by up to 70%.
Which is great because then they can actually counsel students instead of just managing spreadsheets.
So they could do their actual jobs.
Yeah.
Then there's a talent intelligence aspect, the dashboards.
Everyone loves a dashboard.
But these are useful. They track pipeline health, hiring velocity. You can see exactly where candidates are getting stuck. But again, the most important metric, and the source material emphasizes this repeatedly, is fairness.
We keep coming back to that idea of enterprise-grade trust.
Because it's the biggest flaw in the human system. When you use standardized scoring, you are significantly reducing bias.
You remove the bad Tuesday variable.
You do. Everyone gets the same questions, is scored by the same criteria. It's about fit and potential, not guesswork.
So, zooming out, what does this all mean for the future of work? The sources had some big vision statements.
The core message is simple. Work is changing, skills are evolving, hiring must keep up.
It's true. The job I have now didn't exist 10 years ago.
And the skills for it change every 2 years. DigiHIRE makes a point that this isn't just for entry-level coders. This model applies to leadership, to gig workers.
Wait, leadership? You're going to hire a VP using an AI assessment.
Why not? The assessment changes, obviously. It might be a complex case study or a strategic simulation, but the principle is the same.
Data-driven insight is better than, I liked his handshake.
That's a fair point. It's moving from who you know to what you can do.
And what you can become.
That's the potential part. The vision is a world where hiring is driven by potential, not bias, where every organization can find the right talent and every candidate gets a fair shot.
It really is a compelling vision. It effectively kills the old boys club of recruitment.
It democratizes opportunity. If the AI can see your skill, it doesn't matter if you went to an Ivy League school or a community college. The data speaks for itself.
So let's wrap this up. We've taken a deep dive into DigiHIRE. They're tackling the resume problem with a 3-pronged attack.
AI screening for skills, not keywords.
Structured assessments for fairness.
And massive automation for scale.
And they're doing it now. This isn't sci-fi. With 1 million candidates in the system, this is the current reality of the job market.
It is.
So for you listening right now, whether you're the one hiring or the one trying to get hired, the game has changed. This data-driven approach is the new standard.
Your gut feeling is being replaced by an insight report.
Yeah.
Which ultimately should be a good thing for everyone.
Absolutely. Better matches mean better work. But I want to leave you with one final thought. We talked a lot about that human plus AI balance.
Right.
DigiHIRE's whole pitch is that the tech handles the screening so the humans can have meaningful conversations. So if the AI handles the skills and the screening and the technical validation and even the communication score, then the human element in the interview becomes 100% about connection.
It purifies the human interaction.
Exactly. But are we ready for that?
Yeah.
Are we ready for interviews that skip what can you do because the AI already knows and go straight to the deep end of who are you?
It's a scary but exciting thought.
That's the big question. Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time.